Welcome, everybody, to the Voice Chat Podcast, episode 40. My name is Maaz from TheAMaazing.
I'm Laddi.
I'm Rushlight Invader.
Oh, I'm Kat.
I'm Jay.
Oh, dang it, we should have done one more go through. I knew it. No, honestly, no issues. And welcome, Kat and Jay, to the Voice Chat Podcast. Before we begin, I just want to thank all of our lovely patrons and channel members, especially Deke, Nerd Hud, Storyteller25, Andrew Ong, Gabriel, Ironbag, Kevin Mixer, Paul Bowling, Emmy Ayala, Attorney's Flash, Bash2123, and yeah, me too, dude. Holy moly. So many. Okay. Y'all are wonderful, and if you become a patron of the channel member, you can listen to every podcast episode a week early before it goes public, as well as access to a secret server where you can hang out with us and have a chat with us. Major thanks to all the fan art. There's genuinely way too much now. Like y'all, so we gotta figure out a way we can like make it streamlined, man, because there's too many now.
So
like
much. It's so good.
I guess
we love it.
Weird flex, but okay moment here. But
Yeah,
you know,
so
we have so much fan art.
We're like so popular, I think.
I also want to give a major shout out to all the people rating 5 stars on iTunes. It's like actually helping gain traction a little bit.
The real hero got here.
Do it more.
Yeah, do more. Do more.
Do more.
Oh, good. And with that, we can actually start the podcast. Thank you, Jay and Kat, for coming on the voice chat.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a scheduling thing here and there. We're like delaying here, delaying there, but I'm glad we actually managed to make it in the end.
We're here.
Oh yeah, you know, because we're just going everywhere, all over the place every day. Now that we're
all
inside. Oh yeah.
In your house, like in the 4 rooms that you spend.
Sometimes I'm in this corner. Sometimes I'm in the living room.
Yeah. And I'm just like, which day do I pass which corner do I pass the day by today? Every single day. I love the 14 hours a day I spend at my desk.
Hell yeah.
For real. My computer's like, you spend time 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. at your computer. Do you want us to restart when you're not here? I'm like, how are you keeping track that I'm at my computer that much?
Dude, I'm actually like worried with how much time I spend in front of the computer that I like will get a clot. Like I'll get a clot, I'll die, you know?
Oh my god, if COVID doesn't get us first, it's the clots in all of our asses.
I go on walks every day. I'm very active, so
really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I should be doing that.
Do you have like a treadmill or are you walking outside?
No, I walk outside.
Whoa.
So brave.
You can do that?
I live in the country. I don't run into anyone.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Oh,
like,
nice.
I live in like in Victoria, which is like the more really bad state in Australia, where it's like everything's kind of shut down. Stage 4. If you're even caught outside, they like slap you with $1,000 fine or something. Yeah. So the prospect of you walking outside, I'm just like sitting here like, tell me more. Like
oh my god. Describe what grass feels like to us again, please.
At least where I live, like when I go outside, it's in the country in like the woods, so like no one is there. But even in the city, when I drive to the city, I guess I live in a very small town, so I don't interact with like anyone. And I already got corona like a couple months ago.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
Kat had COVID. Yeah, they did.
Wait, what the heck? Like, you good? You okay? That was just like a casual drop. Like, yeah, you know, since I already got COVID, I was like, oh.
I'm guessing it wasn't fun.
Since they've already had the
plague.
Are you actually okay? Like, recovery's been fine?
Yeah, it's been fine. Like, I just couldn't breathe one day, and then they had to come get me in a stretcher from my college dorm. So that sucked. But then after that, I wasn't fine. I couldn't breathe for a while, but then I was like,
yeah, you're explaining like very traumatic events in a very casual tone, and that's like, yeah, they grab you from the stretcher.
People like a million times.
Yeah. I guess so.
Kat just drops. Yeah, I had the plague.
Well, Jay, I was talking to Jay at the time when I got it, right?
Yeah. They were texting me.
That's crazy. Like, I think the reason I asked about the recovery is because I feel like a lot of the emphasis is placed on death. Like, oh, it's not even that high of a mortality rate. But the other factor we look at in hospitals is morbidity rate, which is related to what the impact is on your life as you live afterwards, right? And it's a pretty shocking morbidity.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yes, you're alive, but you now are unable to breathe properly forever.
Permanent
You know what
lung
I mean?
damage, permanent heart damage for some people, like up to
I
half
will
the people.
I will say when I got it, when they did the test on me, the lady who did it administered the test incorrectly. She didn't go up my nose. She went like half an inch up my nose when you're supposed to go all the way back.
Yeah.
So the test came back negative, but then later on I figured out it was wrong. And then I went to the hospital anyway, and they didn't retest me, but the doctor was like, yeah, you have corona. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to be inside for another 12 months, guys. I'm totally not being driven crazy or anything.
No, I get you. It's like, this is the only year I was gonna take off from medicine.
No way.
This is the year.
And COVID's like, yes, it is the year of Maaz. You will be taking it off from medicine.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I want to live my life before I go into the hospital. And then 2020 is like, wait, what about you animate instead for the entire year? I'm like, okay, that works.
Oh my god.
The
timing of that.
And because I'm like overly prepared, I had already bought Airbnbs for VidCon 2020. Everything.
No way.
I put like $6,000 deposit already in, and then it's like,
please tell me you got a refund. Please tell me.
Every flight, every Airbnb service, what they did instead, they're just like, oh, we'll give you credit that's gonna expire in 2021. I'm like, it's not gonna finish in 2021. You wronged me.
I'm like, I'm sorry, you mean the virus we're gonna have for the next 3 years, and you're giving me the refund until 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, we do love it.
Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Maaz.
No, it's okay. I'm only mildly financially in a bad place, No, it's all good. I had a chat with the tax people before this, man, and holy moly, I hate tax.
I like how you say tax people instead of accountants. You're just like, yeah, the tax people, them.
It's the murderer.
It's like, okay, I think of myself as a kind of smart guy, right? Like, I hope it's not arrogant for me to say that. I think of myself as intelligent in a certain way. But I'm also not naive to say that I'm smart in everything. And when it comes to tax, I am smooth brain, dude. I have no idea. I literally called up the accountants, like the tax people, and I was just like, what do I even need to do? Like, I don't even know what to do. And they're like, do you have your expenses? And I'm like, in my bank account, yeah. And they're like, oh man, yeah, very embarrassing.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm 23 and I'm just now doing my taxes on my own for the first time.
Yeah, me too. I just started.
Like my dad every year is like, just send me it. And I'm like, Father, please teach me how to do my own taxes. He's like, no, just send me it. I'm like, Dad.
But in America, like, you have to pay tax as soon as you start making any money, right? Like, that's the thing.
$600 is the threshold. So you can, if you have like a small job that's less than $600, you don't have to count that. But yes, it is after that threshold. As soon as you start making money, you have to start paying taxes. About between 10 and 20%.
That's the thing with Australia. So in Australia, the reason that I'm so question mark is because the threshold to pay tax is 18 grand.
Whoa!
So for the first year and a half or two, for the first 2 years, for the first year especially, like, I wasn't making 18 grand. Of course I wasn't. I just started my YouTube channel. I barely got 100K. And expenses obviously outweighed it. And then the second year, because you know how financial year starts from July to June and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started my channel in December. So it like fell into this weird 6-month limbo where I didn't need to pay it because it wasn't exactly 18 grand because it fell in, I don't know, it was like a loophole or something. I don't know. But so for the last 2 years, now that I am obviously crossing it, I'm just like, what do I do? I've never made this much money before, so I've been calling them and fixing it. Yeah.
That was me when I'm like, oh wait, I lived in Oregon for 6 months and then I moved to California for 6 months. I'm like, which state do I pay taxes to? It was like you remember the wolf children scene where she doesn't know where to take them to like the animal hospital or the human hospital for the little wolf children?
In the beginning, yeah.
That was me. I'm like, do I give Oregon my money or do I give California my money?
Well, Oregon's probably cheaper, right? California's taxes.
It's actually, I think, the opposite because I made like less than like 25. Like California pays or they charge taxes higher for people who make more money, like above 100,000. But like, you know, with my little animator jobs that I do not make over 100,000. So Oregon actually took more out than California did.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's whack. How's like Texas, Kat? Is that okay?
Texas doesn't have a state tax.
Whoa.
And in general, Texas taxes are low. And they're very low on rich people. Not that I'm a rich person. But yeah, Texas is like known for its little taxes.
Yeah.
Damn, Jeff Bezos and all of them are running over there right now. They're like, I heard no taxes. Hello?
Yeah, Tesla just moved down to Austin, Texas. Tesla just did.
No, yeah, Elon Musk, he threw a fit because California's like, hey, you can't open right now because there's a pandemic. He's like, I'm moving to Nevada or Texas. I'm like, California buys half your stock. What do you mean you're moving to Nevada or Texas?
And then he did it.
A little fit.
So is Joe
Not
Rogan.
that, you know, a lot of them pay taxes anyway, but...
Dang.
No,
y'all really dragging the rich, huh?
oh, give me any chance and I will.
Yeah, I'm with Jay.
Drag them like they're behind a horse.
See, that's the thing. Like, I can't even engage in that because I've just never grown up in that climate. You know what I mean? It's just like over here, like, yes, we obviously every country has the top 1%, and over here, it's the mining industry in Australia.
Oh,
and
right.
the big miners and oil companies, and so they control so much that when we brought in carbon tax to actually help the environment of Australia, the top 1%'s like, nah, that's gonna tax us the most because we put the most carbon, and immediately got it like changed over. Like they are so ingrained in our like government, you know.
Yeah,
so,
I can't believe Maaz just said, imagine growing up in wealth disparity. Could not be me.
yeah. Imagine living in actually a terrible country. Cannot be me.
You can say America. It's okay, Maaz.
Yeah.
We know it.
It's
funny because
I
like
don't know her.
I've literally grown up in like
tax fraud every year.
Bro.
No way.
I've grown up in like Pakistan. Like, and the thing is, okay, I'm gonna say this just because it's a meme. I don't actually think America is terrible. It's not terrible. I've grown up in Pakistan, and like I was, I didn't grow up exactly in. Currently, I'm middle class, I'd say. But we weren't middle class when we started off. We grew up in Pakistan, very kind of poorer, you know. And literally, my dad has amazing stories about how he organized illegal immigration for him and his entire family to get into Japan and shit. Like,
cool. Oh my god.
There's entire stories about that, and so it's like,
dude, please
my
tell
dad
me
got
that
in legally.
sometime.
Yeah, my dad got in legally, so I just want to say for anybody, for the FBI agent listening.
Whatever the version of ISIS for other countries, it's like just so you know, it was 100%
I thought
legal.
you said
Mom.
ISIS, and I was like, why would ISIS care?
Oh god.
ISIS. Oh my god.
Yeah, I never sent to ISIS. That's never exposing it.
My mom immigrated here, and she had to change her name, and her birthday is different. Yeah, they all had to change their names. Yeah.
Wait, can I ask where she's from?
Yeah, they came from Albania, so I'm half Albanian. But yeah, so my mom has a different like birth name, and I'm gonna
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I want to say that was pretty common, like particularly like in the 90s and 80s when a lot of people immigrated into here, because they didn't. A lot of people didn't have the formal documents they needed, so they just had to like kind of make it up on the go. Is what I want to say happened for a lot of us in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, with a lot of asylum crises and stuff.
Yeah,
that's why like America isn't the worst country. It's not. There's much worse.
Well,
totally.
The whole like, is America a bad country? Like, if you look at LGBT youth, especially in America, with how high our fundamentalist religion rate is, the depression rate, mental illness rate, and suicide rate for LGBT youth is like astronomically high. And in that way, America really has no resources for people like that. So America is a great country if you're like a white person who's straight.
Yeah, a white straight, and not working class white either, because we don't really like our working class. We like exploiting them, but
Right.
But I will say, as like an LGBT person growing up in America, I had no resources to help me.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's luck of the draw.
Oh my god, I was so happy. Like I didn't know I was gay either until I went to college when I was 18. Because I grew up in like a really red area. I grew up in like Southern Oregon, so it was pretty much Hickville, which is fun because I didn't even know what being transgender really was until I went to college and I moved to Portland, and Portland is like super LGBT. When you get exposed to, you're like, oh wait, I might be gay, and then like when I was like 20, I'm like, wait, I might be trans. I'm like, hold up.
Wait, excuse me, Jay, did you catch the gays? Hello?
Did you catch them? Yeah.
No, I get you. I think it's so. This is a topic that I'm so interested in, like psychiatry and everything, because that's genuinely what I am interested in when it comes to medical aspects. And I was absolutely the same way. I was like, why is there not enough resources and stuff lined up when it comes to funding it? And why is it still behind when it comes to medicine? Because every other aspect of medicine is really, really strong, right? Literally in the course of my 5-year medical course, the management of heart conditions and diabetes condition literally changed from my first to last year. Like everything changed, right? So it's super, super rapid. But psychiatry and brain science, neurology tends to not be that quick. And I was wondering why for the longest time. And then when I did my psychiatry rotation for like 6 months, I realized the actual complexity of psychiatry. Like honestly, not only is the brain like actually fucking crazy and really complicated, there's a lot of psychological things that's super, super difficult to talk about in medicine, that even if you were to say it in the most objective way, I'll get canceled, right?
Right.
So like one of the things that I want to talk about, I was thinking about making like an entire different medical video about this, right? Not on my animation channel at all, in my I don't know, maybe in a stream or something. But there was a TikTok that recently came out that's like there are systems in place that inhibit Black people from getting a kidney transplant. And
I did see that one.
Yeah, and so it's like it basically when you do a creatinine test of their kidneys, which is a byproduct of your kidneys, Black people tend to have, or African American people tend to have higher creatinine levels because of biological reasons. But because kidney transplant requires you to have the lowest creatinine levels, Black people don't get kidney transplants, and so it's like racist. There's like racist practices done in medicine, right? And a lot of people, I'd like to say the left-leaning people, were like, what the fuck? Like, the medicine's so racist. And look, speaking from experience and actually done this, I think the actual aspects of medicine, the biology, isn't inherently racist, but the application of it potentially is. Like, for example, it's not racist to say that people who are brown or Black have less vitamin D than white people, because that's just a biological fact. If the darker you are, the less you absorb from the sun, right? Is that a racist thing to say? It's not. Is it also a sexist, misogynistic thing to say that on average, like females have more estrogen than males? That's not a sexist thing. That's a biological thing, right? But when it comes to the application of it, does it mean that, all like Black people do not deserve a kidney transplant because of their inherently different levels? No, I don't. Of course, they deserve a kidney transplant, but it's this gray area that's really, really difficult to navigate. And same with psychiatry. So mental health, really, really underpaid, really, really underdeveloped. 100% agree with that. No one's going to contend with that. Anybody who's got a semblance of mental health issues knows that for a fact, right? Like no one's hiding that. And now this is where the hot take / difficult navigation comes in, okay? There's an aspect in psychiatry or psychology where when people know that they've got a mental illness, they are more likely to attribute their failures in life to their mental illness instead of seeking a reason as to why that might be the case outside of the mental illness itself,
Like a negative feedback loop.
Right. And so I don't want to name anybody or shame anybody. And of course, it's difficult. I'm not saying it's not. So if you have, for example, bipolar disorder and something happens like for example, a relationship breakdown or a communication breakdown, instead of going and looking at why it broke down, you're more likely to just say, oh, it's because I'm bipolar, and then leave it at that. You know what I mean? And so that feeds into itself. That negative feedback keeps going. And so it becomes more and more difficult to then take people out of that and treat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could it be also that people who necessarily don't have a mental illness don't know why they behave the certain way that they do, so they'd rather go after their behaviors than understand that they have some sort of illness underlying why they behave a certain way?
100%. And that's why almost every single mental health condition, the number one treatment every time, first line is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's literally like a psychiatrist, a therapist session times like 1,000, which tackles inherently why you behave a certain way, how you think, and how you can change inherently the way you think. It's super, super, super effective. It has like the highest success rate of all drugs and medication when it comes to mental health, except for electroconvulsive therapy, which is, an entire can of worms there. But I agree with you. It's difficult for someone who doesn't know enough about their mental illness to look at themselves and be like, oh, this is why I'm acting this way. I need to stop this part of my behavior. Like, of course, no one's gonna be like Rain Man and know like numbers flying in their face. Like, oh yeah, I know why I act like this.
Right.
Like literally, it was like inherent. Like we were like even in smaller aspects. Like yesterday, we were playing Among Us with Rush and Laddi and a few other people, and Rush was yelling at why no one believed him when it comes to the game and why he murdered certain characters. And it's like, yeah, because of just how you portray yourself and how you behave. You know what I mean? Like,
well, to be fair, I tried to scream every single thing.
Sorry, let me interrupt for a sec. I think an argument against that though is, as someone like I am diagnosed with autism when I was a kid, but following my mom's death, I was denied mental health care even until now. From my family. My family doesn't believe that there's anything going on. So I think more so, like, it's totally true that you can fall into that negative feedback loop. But I think like what Kat was saying with the accessibility of it all is part of the problem. Because because people I totally see where you're coming from, and you're not wrong.
If you saw my face right now, I'm literally grimacing. I was like, what the heck?
I agree with Jay on that. I was denied psychiatric care because I was gay. So I had to go through and find out completely other psychiatrists who could deal with my very rare specific problem.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Oh my god, yeah, Kat probably had it rougher than me, honestly. I think, personally, like, coming from an American's perspective, where healthcare is so inaccessible to us, like, people will fall into that negative feedback loop and not want. Maybe there are definitely people, I've met people, I've had friends who have had to kind of like move on from, because like it was so toxic to be around them, because they don't want to see help at all, even if it's accessible to them. But I think a bigger part of the issue than how they see themselves and their own failures from it is how can they access help, since it's so inaccessible.
Yeah, and recently too in America, Trump just made it so any transgender person in any state can be denied any type of healthcare because they are trans. So before I was denied on being gay in Texas, but I could probably move to somewhere like California and be safe. Now I can't do that.
Oh, I'm so lucky to be in Cali. Yeah, like I'm in LA. I'm like in one of the liberal capitals of the country, even though it's still got its flaws. And like I told my parents, because I recently came out as non-binary to my parents as well. And my aunt told me, she's like, I told her, I'm concerned about this law. She's like, well, you don't gotta worry about it because you don't look transgender. I'm like,
cringe, actually cringe. Oh my god.
Right? I'm like, anyway, how's the dog, Aunt Lisa? Like,
that's like saying, oh, dude, that law doesn't apply to you. Who cares? Black Lives Matter? What's that about? Who dat?
Right? Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Look, I do want to apologize because everything I just said is from an Australian's perspective. Like, I definitely take into granted the fact that I can walk in and get treated and get seen for free. I definitely take that into granted. Like, I remember distinctly there was a moment with Tabs and Rush where back like years ago, when like me, like all of us were animating like crazy, trying to grind and get YouTube famous, and me, Tabs, and Rush, all of us sprained our hands by animating too much.
What?
Yeah. Literally, like I had like a brace on for like 2 months, like crazy.
Oh
It was
my
crazy.
god.
Yeah. So the thing is, I walked in and I got a brace, and I was like, okay, I'm getting treated now. And Rush and Tabs, they were just like, should I go see a doctor? Like they were debating even going.
Yeah, that's it too.
I just
Oh my
slept on an ice
god.
pack every night. I just wrapped my arm in a towel to make it stiff at night and put an ice pack and just laid there. Like,
Yeah, it's we're all like on
Bro.
WebMD. We're like, is this supposed to be happening to our bodies? Like,
I broke my elbow in January 2019.
I remember that.
oh my god.
And I didn't know whether to call the ambulance or not. So I
Yeah,
didn't call
that
the
was right there, do
ambulance.
that.
I called my first emergency contact. I called my friend because I was like, I'm not gonna go to the hospital.
Dang,
Oh yeah,
dude.
like
Yeah.
when I had to call the ambulance to go get shit for corona, I literally couldn't like walk, and I was like 3 flights up, so like I had to call an ambulance. It was like
Yeah.
$2,000 or something just for the
It's so
ambulance.
yeah. It'll put you in
like
of a 2 to 5,000.
$100 a mile or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's insanely expensive.
Bro, like
Yeah.
that's so crazy,
So
man.
Yeah.
I was like, what choice did I have?
our cringe
Either I
stuff.
die or I pay a lot of money.
No, as in like
Yeah.
I'm not putting you at like I get your situation. I'm just saying the overall system that allows for that is insane, dude.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Whoa. And like I said this in the last episode, and but my entire medical course to become a doctor was 50 grand. That's it. The entire thing was done. I'm now a doctor for 50 grand, right?
So that's like my yearly tuition.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god.
I think
Sad. Yeah.
like Kat, when you got accepted in college and you were telling me about the prices, I was like, I literally inside I was like, oh my gosh, like oh my god.
Yeah, if I didn't have my scholarship for SCAD, I couldn't pay for it.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Dang.
It's actually like super stuff. And I'm sorry that we got into like a huge political American tangent. like actually my bad. But Kat, like you mentioned that you had a lot of underlying medical things. You like I don't want to prop your I don't know how to pronounce.
One day
Rush,
we'll teach English to
You want me to type it
Maaz.
out for you in the chat?
Yeah, if I see it, I can pronounce it, but I cannot pronounce
Yeah.
it off the top of my head.
Hold on.
Propagatia or something. Whatever. I tried.
How's the
I
weather?
Typing.
Prosopagnosia. Yeah, prosopagnosia. All right, there you
Yes.
go.
Oh.
There you go.
What does that mean?
But Kat, like what happened to cause this? Because I know you got a video coming up for it.
I got a traumatic brain injury 2018. Yes, at the beginning of 2018. And then I had to go to a lot of brain therapy. I was out of school for like 4 to 5 months ish. And then one day, because in American public schools, you have to do school, otherwise you get a truancy letter and it's illegal. So they sent a teacher to my house once a week for 4 hours, I don't know, to teach me. And one day she showed up and her hair was in a ponytail, and I legit like did not recognize her at all. I thought it was just some lady at my door. And then she was like, "Oh, you ready for class or some shit?" And I was like, "Oh my god, it's my teacher." And I hadn't really noticed that I wasn't recognizing people based off their face, because when you have face blindness or prosopagnosia, your mind automatically recognizes people on like a billion different factors, like their height, mannerisms, voice, hair, or even specific facial features. And so it's automatic for everyone's brain to recognize people, and you don't think about it. And so I knew my parents so well that like I didn't need to. I can look at my mom from like 100 feet away from behind, and I can recognize it's my mom. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this strange lady who I hated, I just don't care. And then I just couldn't recognize her. So I went to the hospital. And I was like, because I was going to the hospital like 3 times a week for brain therapy. And I was like, hey, I can't recognize people. And then we did a test, and I got in the 9th percentile, which meant 91% of the population could see faces, recognize faces better than me. So I definitely had prosopagnosia. So then a lot of my brain therapy was focused on recognizing people. Like they would set up tests for me to do with people around the hospital to try to remember them. So you can get better at recognizing people's faces. Oh, by the way, if people don't know what prosopagnosia is, it only affects your facial recognition and picturing it in your mind. Like, I cannot picture anybody's face correctly in my mind. It doesn't mean you don't know what a person's face looked like. Like, I'm literally drawing right now 2 different human faces from memory. Like it doesn't mean you don't know what a person's face looks like. It's just when you have to recognize a very specific person and you try to put those features all together in your mind, you can't do it. So, because people are like, how can you draw people's faces if you have prosopagnosia? It's like, I know what a person's face looks like.
Yeah.
Is the eyes go down here?
Yeah.
How many eyes?
Yeah, 3?
Yeah, it's okay.
Uh-oh.
It's alright. The proper note. Damn it! I'm trying to make a bit. All right, I'm gonna try.
They don't all hit. It's okay.
No, it's okay.
Get up next time, Maaz.
I just ejected. I didn't keep going. I find that even if you have a bad bit, even if you have a bad joke, as long as you have the confidence to either finish it off or escape, it's fine. It becomes funnier.
I didn't even hear your joke. My Discord disconnected for like a second.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I won't repeat. I don't want to repeat.
You missed it.
I know I want to joke.
What happened to the confidence of being able to deliver it?
I delivered it, and now it's done.
When you got disconnected, he was like, "Oh, it was the never mind. I'm not gonna finish."
I'm actually like beet red right now.
It's fine.
Oh man, I remember when Kat, when you drew a little picture of me shortly after we met at VidCon, and you said you actually have a really memorable face, and I remember that you mentioned this disorder, and I was writing that high for like a week. I'm like, Kat, remember what I looked like despite brain trauma? I'm like, I can't believe this.
Kat,
right now, Jay, I can't picture your face, so
that is okay.
Feel sad.
Damn, all right.
No! That's fair.
You can't bring me down. I'm still riding the high of the week after VidCon, Kat.
I kind of feel that when I met you again at VidCon this year, and I introduced myself because I was like, "Oh, I'm Laddi," because I knew you had that, and so I was like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Oh, I remember it." And I was like, "Really?" So. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
felt good for a sec.
Was it Amy Meow who had the other yeah. That was I think like when a lot of people first heard of it. That was like the first video of hers I think I watched too.
You had that so quick.
Yeah, aphantasia and prosopagnosia are completely different though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like
so interesting.
I can't. The only thing I can even imagine is color. That's it. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I can't imagine images.
Oh man.
Oh, that sucks. I have a really, really vivid like image imagination. Like when people ask me to do the apple test, like I see the realistic apple. You guys know the apple
shape? I see the shape. I see the texture. I see a little bit of a color and the vibe of it, but not clear, not very clear.
Can I just say I love that after Kat said the apple test, we all stopped and paused because we're all suddenly trying to imagine the apple. Like we don't even need to see our faces. We all know that we all stopped. We're like, wait, imagine the apple.
I closed my eyes trying to imagine it.
Wait, can you guys imagine things will have your eyes open or no?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
can
so
you,
bad
can
at
you?
drawing
Yeah, I can.
like just from memory because I can't. So I have to draw like the skeleton underneath and all that.
Oh, really? Oh man, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I just use shapes for everything. That's my whole process. I'm like, here's a circle, it's fine.
It's weird because like if I was to imagine it right now with my eyes open and like trying to concentrate, like this is what I do as I animate. So I never storyboard my animations ever.
That hurts. Stop, you just wounded me. Oh my god.
I know. Because I was the only animator the entire time. So why would I storyboard my own animations, right?
Oh, that hurts me.
Yeah, and so what I would do is that as I would animate, I would literally imagine as I was going. And if I thought of an impulsive good thing, I was like, oh, I can do this, and I would do it. I was super impulsive with my animations. And Rush, as I'm imagining right now with my eyes open, I can see the outline so clearly, but none of the color. The color is gone. I can't imagine the color. But
I can just like imagine your guys' faces right in front of my screen just right now if I just look at it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Damn,
but the thing
Rush.
is,
Right now?
I can imagine you. Yeah, your little smile.
I'm imagining
you,
Rush wrapped up in his blanket like earlier today. He's cocooned in there.
Cocoon.
Yeah, I can imagine
Thank you,
outlines,
boy.
and whilst I don't know the color, I don't know if you guys have this, but I know the vibe that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like I know
The
the vibe of the
vibe.
color. You know, like I want a warm purple for this scene, and I want like this kind of very specific green for this scene. I know the vibe that I want, and I'll try to find a board. So now that I have a team, I do storyboard now. Like I don't want to sound like I'm not doing anything professional now. Now
Oh,
that
thank
I've
God.
team, I do storyboard my own scenes. I give it to everyone, and I now make a mood board about what I'm imagining from my head for them to understand. But it's hard to translate a vibe. You know, it's hard to do that.
Dude,
Yeah.
when you can't translate your vibe. Oh man.
I want to
Indeed.
say the color for that, Maaz, is color scheme. Or the word for it is color scheme.
No color
Is-
vibe.
The color
no
vibe.
vibe.
The vibe of
Are you
it.
vibing? We vibing.
Maaz in 10 years in a studio producing his own animation. He's like, can we get the vibe of this a little warmer, please?
Vibing, please.
I'm not vibing with these
Can
colors.
we have a night vibe for this scene, please?
Low key, like.
Maaz is like, wait, you got the number? Hold on.
Wait, are you my team? Like, what the hell? How do you know?
Just been lurking in Maz's Discord that he runs with his team.
Yeah. Like, what? Are you imagining I have a? No, I do. Yeah, you're right.
I can't
You're right.
imagine it because I failed the Apple test, so I can't imagine
Yeah?
the Discord. No.
Aw.
No, they're not-
What's the Apple test? Is it you just imagine an apple?
Yeah, you just
Basically,
imagine
it's
an
a
apple.
test to see how well you picture things in your mind. So you go picture an apple in your mind, and there's like 3 levels to it, or 5 levels. There's like one where it's
Yeah,
just the
5.
colors. There's ones with a bit more detail, and it goes all the way to like a very realistic apple. And I picture the level 5 apple. So
Oh.
blessed.
How, like, so like when you
Hashtag
close your
blessed.
eyes, do you like see it really clearly? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I can see like
Whoa.
when I close my eyes and I picture an apple, I can see the vertical streaks that go along it, and I can see the yellow and the paler areas and like the bits of dirt and like the dark little dots that go over an apple. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is-
I think
hold
it's
on.
cool.
Korea-ish because like
Yeah.
until like you describe it, like I know what the apple looks like. I'm like, yeah, the texture, and then I'm like, the shape's there.
Yeah, I'm definitely level 3 or like between 2 and 3 or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I think so
know.
too.
I just I don't know, man.
Shut up.
Like, we're still doing it.
Rush, show it, Rush.
Rush
Show
posting
this.
memes.
Look at that bad boy.
Look
Bad
at that
Pokemon.
boy.
Number
Hate the
2?
Pokemon.
Hell yeah.
Number 3,
I
Pokemon
think-
sucks.
I'm number 1.
I think spiritually, I'm a 5.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Spiritually, I'm a 5. It's an apple.
Anyway, psychology is whack, is what I think the
Yeah.
takeaway is.
Yeah, the takeaway of it's swag. But
Psychology is
Uh,
whack.
Aphantasia is just sorry. So I'm like looking into more of these Aphantasia things. My
Oh my
bad.
god, we're gonna have 3 tabs on our phone just dedicated to reading about it tonight. Like we're gonna be so like hyper focused on it.
Dude.
Listen, man. Like that, like honestly, like I've been doing all these weird tests recently. Not weird tests, but like Myers-Briggs and all these like
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
you
weird
guys-
ones, Meyer-Briggs.
No, I was like, yeah, I said weird ones, and I was like, well, that's actually a weird one. It's just a Myers-Briggs
Post
test.
the one
you know,
they
which is-
make you take in high school for your English 7th grade class. High school 7th grade? I don't know grades anymore.
Wait, really?
They,
Did
they made me
you
take
do it?
my English class in sophomore. Like, this is
Oh.
what we're doing in the computer labs today. I'm like, we're taking an internet test. I'm like, you can go on BuzzFeed at home and do this. Not that BuzzFeed was
Weird.
free back then.
Really? I never heard of it until a couple years ago.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah. That's
Fair enough.
cool.
No, like I'm ENFJ for life. You know, every time I take it, I always get an ENFJ.
Yeah, I keep getting.
Every
Yeah,
I take that
INFJ.
test, I get a completely different set of letters.
Same. I'm like, I think my mood just switches.
I got ABCD. I don't know what that is. Just got like,
That was the alphabet, Maaz. That was the alphabet.
oh shit! Oh, you're right.
I think
Dang.
you're taking. I think you're taking an alphabet test.
Did you get
I
the
think I
1, 2,
took a
3?
kindergarten test actually.
yeah. Yeah. Are
That was
you
a really
doing
weird test.
kindergarten?
Now.
Anyone else get all of the above? I'm not really sure which one to put for this one.
I'm both extrovert, introvert, thoughtful,
I am
sensing, feeling.
everyone.
I'm
We are
everyone.
everything and everyone. The
So,
Myers-Briggs,
you know,
they cannot pigeonhole us.
you know that like stereotype of the storytime animators where everyone's an introvert?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Turns out I was a premature little idiot who like wasn't diagnosed with my mental illnesses yet, so I just assumed I was an introvert. But no, ever since I got stable with medicine, I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm like, oh god, I contributed to it. Whatever.
The thing is, I
No.
thought of you always, just from our interactions at VidCon, I always thought of you as, so extrovert, introvert doesn't also have to necessarily mean socially anxious, right? So I know an extrovert who is really bad socially, if that makes sense.
Bless
He
their heart.
loves being with people, but he's just not great at it,
Mhm.
And similarly, like I think Jaden said this herself, like you can have introverts who are very, very well socially, like can handle themselves, not really that like can hold their own conversations, but would just prefer to recharge by themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Right. And so, Kat, like I always thought of you as, because whenever I talked to you, you would just like completely hold your own. So I was like, oh, are you like social introvert? But then you would like hang out with
I'm just
Reagan
an
and their
extrovert.
entire crew, and I was like, what? What the heck? What's going on? So I
I'm
was
an
like,
extrovert. I discovered that. When also I made that video too, it was right after I left my private school because I was gay and shit. So I had literally zero friends.
Just like
I had
just
zero
casually.
friends for like a year. So I made that video when I was very mentally ill with no friends. So
Oh,
I was
but you're here now, and we love you so much.
Well, no kidding. I'm kidding.
So hold on. I'm buying a plane ticket right now to go to
Oh,
Australia
yeah.
to kick some fucking ass.
Yo, Maaz, I just want to talk.
Just wanna, turn on your location. I swear, I just want to talk.
I'm
Yeah, I
always
get you.
confused as to whether I'm introvert or extrovert because
I mean, is it
probably an
ambivert?
introvert.
That's like a switch between the two is ambivert, right?
Oh,
Yeah, everybody's ambiverted
Yeah.
to an extent, is because no one can live with other people every single moment of their life.
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah, of course. Duh.
No
It's
one
called
can
having
also
a
be
roommate,
isolated.
Maaz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I think everybody is ambiverted to a certain extent, but I definitely do think I'm an extrovert, guaranteed.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I like my silence just like anybody else. There was 2 days ago, actually, I was just thinking this as I was buying boba, and I was like, you know what? This is actually really nice, just buying boba, by myself. And then I remembered that entire day I spent like 8 hours playing like Fall Guys and Among Us with my friends. I was like, maybe I'm just a liar. So
Constantly switching back and forth.
yeah. I was like, maybe I'm just a filthy, filthy liar.
You might be.
You're bad at lying. You're bad.
Yeah?
You're bad.
You
Bad
bet?
time.
Really,
bad
Rush?
boy.
Yeah? You're gonna tell
I-
me
I
that
wanna-
I'm bad at it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I didn't know
Okay.
Rush was a lie detector. That's impressive.
He's bad.
No.
So much
Rush is-
range.
No, listen, I am very good at Among Us. So Among Us is like a recent hit game on Twitch and YouTube and stuff where it's like Mafia, just with extra tasks. If you guys have played Mafia or Werewolves or Town of Salem before.
Do you mean like the game where like you close your eyes and guess who like is the werewolf or whatever? Okay,
Yes,
just making sure we're on the same page.
But you
Yes,
do
yes.
mini games instead of being innocent.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
oh damn.
in this one, the citizens actually do things as the Mafia go and kill you. And so we were playing that, and I'm pretty good at it. I want to say, And Rush, man, like the thing is, I know certain people because we've talked for so long that as soon as they're not like themselves, I'm like, all right, this guy's imposter. Like I was playing with Rush and Turtle Lemonade, sorry, and a few other people that I've known for ages. As soon as they start acting weird, I'm like, all right, that's him. It's them. They're the imposter. 100% kill them. And,
You didn't know.
But then,
it was
like,
me, though.
unfortunately, Laddi, you actually slipped me, so that's actually really good.
My
I was
goal is to
very
be as
shocked.
close as an imposter, even if I'm not an imposter. And if I am imposter, I try to act the same. I
Okay.
scream constantly. I trail people constantly, even when I'm innocent, and they get me every time.
So let me tell you what Rush does. Okay, this is literally like Rush's MO. So when I was innocent, I was running around and I see Rush chasing me in a cafeteria. And there's tables that you can juke them. So I'm like running around juking him and he's chasing me. Because what happens now, because I can pick people who are acting weird, I die first round every time now. Every single time I die. Even in front of people, they'll just stab me. And they're like, you know what? It's worth Maaz dying if I die, if Maaz dies, you know? And so I see Rush running to chase me. I run around the cafeteria juking him for like a solid 2 minutes. And turns out he was innocent. He was just doing that just to mess with me.
I just want to fuck
You
with
know?
him. I don't want to make any. I want to be chaos. I want it to be
How's
chaos.
it feel to be falsely accused,
And
Rush?
then Rush will also get mad when he dies every time because no one believes him.
All right, so I would. All right, so there's like a tactic that people use. Like my one friend used it. He yells first, right? That's like everyone believes him, and I also use the same strategy. He's like, if it's not blank, kill me. I'll stand next to the button. We can call an emergency meeting next round. If it's not him, kill me. And then people are like, we'll just kill you anyway. They're like, and then he used the same tactic against me the next round. If it's not Rush, you can kill me. He's like, okay. And they believe him. I'm like, what the fuck? No one believes me.
No, it's okay. Rush is eliminating very important context here, okay? So this is like truth by or lie by omission, okay?
All right, here we go.
The reason no one believed you, Rush, is both of those round in front of people. You ran and stabbed me, dude.
All right, hear me out. Now we put more context behind that. Ready for this? There's only 3 people in the room. I killed the one person. Now it's just us two. No one else knows who's who. Like no one knows who's right or wrong. We had the both alibis. We're both there. And I did this around before, and I was caught. I was like, all right, I'm evil again. If I kill him again the same way, it can't be me again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. They fucking.
No.
You
So
were
much for
like
a
3
foolproof
times in
plan.
a row.
I was.
Yeah. So your
Wait, so
strat
you
was
guys just
what?
watching Rush constantly lose, and I wasn't in on this? What the fuck? How come I wasn't invited to just roast Rush for several hours on end?
No, it's just like okay, I see what Rush is saying. Like if there was if the only witness is one person and Rush is the killer, why do people believe the witness? And the reason is because the witness is being truthful 100%. All their cries, everything that they're saying is truthful, and your lying is not nearly good enough to come across as truthful. You
Right.
know?
So in that scenario, Maaz, if I
Right.
was innocent, should I scream or should I be like, no, it's him? It's him. What's more believable, the calmer guy or the screaming guy is really upset that
No,
he just killed someone murdered?
so that's not how you should approach it. What's more believable is dependent on the person. Okay, I gave you this example yesterday, but Hexrin, you know, the storyboard artist for James, right?
Mhm.
No, I never heard of her.
She's very small, quiet, not very outspoken. She's just like usually very unsure. She's like, I don't know, I don't know. She's very unsure about everything in life, right? And then so if she was to suddenly say, it's him, I saw him, that is an immediate 100% trust. You know what I mean? Because in that case, yes, screaming when somebody is super, super outspoken, super quiet is the break is different behavior and is likely to get attention. Now, the other case is Nunu, in my editor, your editor, everyone's editor, you know, and my
Nunu.
background artist.
Everyone has a Nunu.
Oh, yeah, and the editor of this podcast. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate no. So
Hi, Nunu.
she's very outspoken, but when she starts being quiet, that's when you start notice, right? So it just depends on behavior, man. You just gotta study behavior.
Body.
All right,
Psychoanalyze me
whenever-
next, Maaz.
I have a plan next Among Us. Tomorrow we're gonna stream Among Us, and I'm gonna be just monotone the whole time. It was
Go for it.
him.
But
Get
seriously,
him.
the
Like,
only
just-
two people that really, really trip me is Laddi and Nunu. Like I completely didn't get them at all. Like
I think
at
it's
all.
because I was equally anxious both times.
yeah, you were absolutely the exact same level of anxious.
I had to take
anxious.
a break. I was like shaking after being the imposter. I was like, I can't anymore. I need to
Well,
stop.
it sucks because okay, so yesterday I won like 3 times as the imposter, so, like lying through my teeth with nothing. And yesterday, after playing for hours, I finally get imposter, and I guess my brain was fried egg because my lie was so bad, dude. So I did this actually pro level strat where I locked. So when you're an imposter, you can lock buildings and you can close people in and then kill them, right? So what I did was, as soon as somebody came into this building, I locked the doors, I killed them, and after you kill someone, you have a 30-second cooldown. You can't just kill everybody on a rampage. And so what I did, as soon as I killed them, I started up a crisis on the other side of the map, so people wouldn't even come to my building as I waited for my cooldown to happen. As soon as the doors opened, because I locked them, as soon as they open, I'll kill whoever walked in. You know what I mean? And I was ready to do it. And I did it. Somebody opened the door, I killed them, but somebody saw I saw blue and I saw somebody die. I think it's Maaz. I could have just said, no, I came from the other side and I did it. But instead, I don't know why I said that. I was like, I was with Rush. And Rush was like, no, he wasn't. And I was just like, yeah.
All right, so, and then Maaz,
I just accepted it.
Dude.
And then Maaz gets act all defensive. Like, it wasn't me.
You started getting really defensive once you're
So what actually happened? If I was to explain my mental state right there, so I was just so tired that I literally half eyes closed, looked at the screen. I just saw Rush's name. I was like, yeah, I was with Rush. And then you're like, no, you weren't. And the embarrassment of what just happened snapped me out of it, because I was just gonna be like, yeah, it's me. But then I remembered, nah, this ain't it. This ain't my style. Immediately, I thought of a good defense. I was like, all right, I was in the camera room. I literally ran forward and I saw the body. I'm telling you, man, I don't know how else to prove it. And I was actually getting people to believe me, except JJ was just like, man, you literally said you were with Rush. You can't lie anymore. I'm like, dang it. Dang it.
So if you're really good at lying, this is a game for you guys. If you're listening to this.
He pointed out that you were acting differently too, because he was like, normally when you're innocent, you do this and this, but this time you're doing this. And I'm like,
no,
and I'm like,
it's
JJ.
absolutely the fact that he was like, you just admitted, I heard you say, yeah, you're right. And I was like, yeah, I did say that.
Funny.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to.
Is it good to be a good liar, or is it good to be a bad liar?
Well, listen, man. If you've been repressed by religion and parents, man, listen. I'm a great liar. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. I get you.
I'm only a good liar.
You are what?
Nothing. Never mind.
Oh, damn. Okay. That's all good.
We're very convinced, Laddi, actually,
Yeah.
so I think that makes you a good liar.
All right. So, listen, hear me out.
What's up?
Do you trust more the reckless driver or the guy who drives safe?
Oh my god, we're done. Yeah.
Right. So a guy that knows how to control his car, he knows how to drift and stuff and maneuver. Let's say there's like he's just driving normal speed every day. He's not driving recklessly at the time, but he does it occasionally. He goes drifting around corners, does crazy stuff. Or do you trust a guy that's always safe if you're in a car with them? It's if you're going to a buddy's house, I trust to go with that guy. I'm going to go with the dangerous guy, because if a car comes swerving at us, he knows how to avoid it.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Rush, do you drive?
Yes.
Do you drive?
All right. So, hear me out.
Answer the question, Rush. Do you have a license?
I drive.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering if you would.
I trust more crazy drivers than I do people that are just normal, right?
Oh, Rush, you're gonna love driving with me in LA.
All right, so this one guy, he's good. He does goes back on the trails, there's woods and stuff where I live. He does drifts around corners, knows how to avoid trees. Fucking crazy.
No, I get what you're saying, but what's your defense? Why do you think that?
If example, if I want to feel safe, if I just want to get to point A to point B the safest, I pick that guy. If we're just going on normal cruise, he's not going out just driving and racing around for fun. We're just going to a friend's house. And let's say it's
well, then why not the safe guy too?
Well, what if, example, a deer comes in the road, he can maneuver around it. Where me, a scared person, because I did this, I saw a deer and I floored it, and I'm just ran.
No, you did not.
Well, you're not supposed to stop at a deer. You're supposed to go forward.
That could destroy your car.
You don't want someone who's gonna maneuver around it, because that's how most deaths come when.
Number one death cause is maneuvering, 100%.
Yes.
But this one guy I'm talking about though, we were leaving a park, it's not really a park, an amusement park. There was a deer in the road, and he just went around it perfectly, and he perfectly did it.
Two things. There's so many issues with this, everything you're saying right now. And as a debater, there's so many points. And if we were in a debate and you just said this as the opposing, I would have 5 points to attack you with right here.
Objection.
Okay? Oh, the objection. So what's happening here is that you're making a logical fallacy of two things that are unrelated. You're relating safety of driving with regards to being on the road and swerving around with people's reaction or adaptive ability, right?
Yeah. So you
can
trust
be
the new
very
doctor or
safe.
the old doctor?
Not even doctor. Like I have seen incredibly safe doctors. As soon as a problem comes up, they're like, all right, I know what to do. Come on, do this. Right. And immediately adapt to it. And similarly, I've seen reckless people, surprise, surprise, be reckless, you know?
So
So
it just depends on the person exactly, or
right. It just depends on people and what their ability to adapt is. And similarly, look, like the guy swerving around, you're happy because it worked out well. But just as easily, you could have swerved and hit another deer that he didn't see because of tunnel vision, or
Oh my
would
god,
Or a
have
these two
car.
gone
deer.
off the road, or another
Yeah.
car, or another person. It's like survivorship bias. You're happy because it worked out. But in that scenario, that actually swerving is not the right thing to do. You should never swerve in a highway when you see an animal on the road. That is
no,
guaranteed.
this wasn't in a
danger.
highway. This was just a road. But yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
make the
okay.
story
Oh,
more
okay.
interesting. Add a third deer to the story when you swerve away from that deer.
No, Jay, listen. Your friend driving is a deer, okay?
Oh, man, the deer was with us all along. That's amazing.
And the
Write
thing on
that
the
down,
road,
write it down.
it's actually your friend. Your friend's on the road.
I would absolutely be friends
And
with
then
a deer.
you just go straight through him, you know?
Go shoot through him. Wait, my
Johnny!
dear passenger watching his dear brethren being hit on the road, though. That's traumatizing as fuck for them.
Yeah.
Poor deer.
But I think like
have it
I think
hard.
Rush, that's difficult to assess though, Rush, because again, in how many situations would you deal with a crisis like that, right? Like I can say that I think I'm a calm doctor, but I've never, except one time, have been in a medical emergency, and in that medical emergency, guess what? I froze up, you know. So
Mhm.
it's difficult for people to like, no matter how they are or what they say, unless you have the pressure placed on you, you never know how you are. That's when you show your true character.
So you should never assume a person based off their experiences in their book, right?
You should never assume that aspect specifically. I'm not generalizing anything, but to assume their ability to be safe in crisis, that you can never assume that. Like, how can you assume that? You know?
All right, cool.
Mhm.
That's the point I was making then. Good.
Yeah. You can never know how somebody will react when some shit goes in the fan.
Can't believe it
wrong.
took us 3 deers to get to this whole conclusion.
Actually,
were harmed
4
in the
deers,
making.
and I just take off my mask, and I'm
Oh my
just a
God.
deer.
I
Oh,
swear, no deers were harmed in the making of this story, I promise you.
Oh, there was one.
No, except one.
No.
Except for one.
All deers.
No, you just hear a gunshot. It's like, oh god.
Oh,
The gunshot and the
oopsie.
deer we took out back were unrelated, I promise.
Listen, look, Laddi, I know you're like need to go soon, but can we can I vent about Avatar a little bit? You know?
Vent.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
about which aspect?
Everything. The fact that the
Everything.
creators left Netflix, the fact that they're remaking the same story instead of any of the comics that they have, the fact that there's just so
Okay,
much.
okay, can I ping in real quick? Not just the comics. Have you read the Kiyoshi novel? Because damn, if
so hot. Oh my god.
oh my god! First of all, she's sexy. She has a hot firebender girlfriend through the first book and the second book. But it's the young adult genre that we've always wanted. Like it's violent, it's gritty, it's about her story of revenge. It is so fucking cool.
Do
I haven't read
you
it.
agree with her outcome at
read
the
it.
end of the series, or
Don't
Don't
spoil
spoil
it.
I'm gonna say anything. I'm
it
still
was
like
an original
100
Avatar?
pages.
It was an original
of the-
Avatar. Her enemy she faced.
With her, it's actually really in character for her because like she's super reckless in the books. Like she pretty much threatens every person she comes across. I adore her.
Okay.
I'm like, this is the tallest this is like the 7-foot tall girlfriend I've always wanted in my life. I'm like, go threaten the men over there for me, please.
We in it.
I really loved in Last Airbender when Aang was like going for advice on what to do with Ozai, and Kiyoshi was like, "Kill him, no justice, no peace."
Literally all of them. Yeah, they're like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, Aang, but you gotta kill the Fire Lord. All right, Maaz, it's your turn. Vent away.
Man, there was a quote that perfectly encapsulates everything that's happening, and it's just people who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And I think that's just that's honestly what's happening. The creators,
The thing that really, really frustrates me is that like Avatar is so cool because of its world building, and part of its world building are the fact that it is all people who are Chinese, Japanese, and Inuit. That's part of the lore. And the fact that the Netflix adaptation was so willing to cast white actors, I'm like, for who? White people don't exist.
I don't think that source was actually ever confirmed because there was that. There was that article going on. Sorry.
There is white people in Avatar. It's the hillbillies.
I love that
swamp
tweet.
benders, you freaks.
I love that tweet that said that. It was so funny.
That's really so. The thing is, that article that people are quoting for the new Netflix show is actually fake. It's not.
Oh, really? A fake
award. So, but the thing is, like, again, what I find interesting is that the creators themselves said that they approached Netflix with a specific vision as to what they want to do with this reboot live action thing. And Netflix wasn't keen on it. And Netflix was willing, like they said outwardly, they want their own Game of Thrones. They want their own standalone show. And so what's really like kind of making me interested is what was the difference? Like Netflix was willing to throw money. And they saw, I'm sure they did the research and seen how popular Avatar is. And so I really do wonder what the difference is. And yes, Chinese, Japanese, Inuit, Aboriginal culture is super, 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 super important when it comes to Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I definitely don't want them to whitewash it and make it just another white versus brown people like the movie
Oh
did.
my god, yeah. It was so bad.
In it. So, as long as they don't do that. Look, I know there's a lot of discourse about it. And no matter how much I'm going to vent, because I will vent a little bit more, but will I watch it? Yeah, of course.
Curiosity will win over us all. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. I do.
I feel
that's that's me. Like, no matter how I feel about it, I will definitely watch it. Now, the main thing I want to just kind of vent about is, like, it's not too much to do with Netflix specifically, not to do with the fact that but I'm a little upset about the fact that Avatar and the pop culture scene is not as important and not as like recognized simply because of how terrible that movie was. You know what I mean? Like that movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
So bad
like
that
the
I actually
chance
think
for expansion that the
live
movie could have
action
given
movie?
us.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It tarnished the
Bad.
reputation of Avatar. If it could have gone into it has such pop culture relevance now, even with the movie. But if the movie was good, it would have elevated that to such a degree,
Oh my god, yeah.
And I guess like I don't want to be mean to the creators, but they signed onto the movie, they got screwed out of it by the producers, and they were like, okay, never again. And then 10 years later, they do the same thing. They got screwed out of it. They're walking away.
Yikes.
And it's like, dude, did you not learn from the first time?
Yeah.
Like,
well, apparently, I haven't looked into this much, but apparently they technically don't own the rights to Avatar. It's like Viacom. I don't know, but like, they have a lot less control than we think they do.
Huh.
Aww.
Yeah. So
That sucks.
it might not even have been their idea to go to Netflix.
Oh man, it really sucks. I just want a good Avatar because I really liked Avatar, and I know a lot of people still like didn't like Korra, but I actually did enjoy Korra.
I adore Korra so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
The thing is, it's like you want a good Avatar, but we have a good Avatar. We have the animated series. We don't need to remake it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't fix what isn't broken. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Man.
It just sucks because like I would have adored to see like a really cool like one season off of Kyoshi or even of the novels if they wanted to do it live act or of the comics. Like I wouldn't have been opposed to them doing the comics in live action or anything. I don't think they could get all the voice actors together, so that's why I'm like I don't know if we could if we could do an animated series again. But like, God, Kyoshi's right there. Korra's comics are right there. Like, there's so many things that are right there that are such good opportunities. But like, no, we're gonna beat this dead horse.
Hell yeah. No, I get it. Like,
yeah,
that's the main thing. I just want a good representation of Avatar, man.
I hope so.
I just stand. That's all.
Yeah. Holding our breath till it comes out. I don't know, 5 years from now.
And with that, I think we might wrap it up because I know, Laddi, you definitely need to go soon.
Yeah.
We will miss
thank you so much for coming along, Kat and Jay. Like, I know organizing an hour or two to come on and just chat, especially nowadays when everyone's just working, is pretty rough. But I'm glad you guys had the time to go.
This was honestly so nice. Thank you so much for having us.
I hope. The cat's like, thank you.
Thank you.
So nice. No, I would love to have you on into the future as well. All right.
Oh my god,
All
yeah.
right.
Just you have my contact info.
Well, we'll do. when the new avatar comes out, oh hell yeah, let's go.
We'll be in each other's DMs. I swear to God.
Honestly. All right. Just to wrap it up, everybody, if you want to support us on Patreon channel members, you can. Thank you so much for people who've done so already. And we'll see you in the next episode. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
All right. And logging off now.